So all of Hollywood's projects are put on an indefinite hold. But how is Hollywood preparing for life after COVID-19? Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Nerd News with your host Chris Chavis. This episode is chock full of nerdy things, or just really informational things that'll make you think you're a nerd because you actually like things that are informational. And today we're going to talk about Hollywood's plan after COVID-19. But before we get into that, like we do each and every episode, if this is your first time visiting my channel, please hit that like, the subscribe, the notification bell. That bell will notify you of all future episodes as I create them in my brain and my computer. So COVID-19 has vastly changed the way that we exist with our fellow humans, right? Life as we know it is on one giant pause. It's like someone took a giant remote control and went boop, and then we just were like, okay, this is life now. And a lot of businesses have struggled through this, rightfully so, because we can't go anywhere, and in turn, they can't make money, and it's a crazy time to live in, guys. And one such aspect of businesses, the film industry. I mean, it's a multi-zillion dollar a minute, industry. I mean, they're just pumping out projects left and right. Yes, I said zillion. But they are feeling the effects of Corona-19. They're feeling the stresses of it, and rightfully so, because yet again, it's a business. And it's not just the major film companies that are losing money and feeling the stress about this. Your local theater is also feeling the effects of COVID-19. So how does Hollywood get back on track in this vastly declining loss in profit? First, we're going to break this down into three little categories and we're going to talk about it. Number one, film festivals. Now, film festivals such as Cannes, Tribeca, and Sundance, they have people from across the globe going to these things, Closing film festivals down is to abide by the social distancing, rules. I know some places aren't really practicing that. I'm looking at you, Myrtle Beach. Go inside. But a lot of film festivals now, they are still going to be having these festivals, just not in the sense that you were used to. They're going to move to more of a virtual platform. I mean, with the high success of Zoom, just taking everyone aboard, this is a great way to still have the festivals. You can still see I don't know if you're going to still be able to see the films, but you'll be able to go into these festivals in a more of a virtual platform. That way, film festivals are still alive, and these projects that people have put a lot of time and effort on will still get shown. Technology. I remember the nights when you would just have to sit in front of the radio and use your imagination. And if you must know how old I am, I'm this old. And Cannes Film Festival did announce that they're going to have a virtual market that's going to reduce the fees during this whole entire COVID-19. And like I said, having a virtual presence for these film festivals, a lot of these great projects still will get bought, and we'll be able to see them on a bigger screen at some point in the future. Number two, streaming videos. Now, I have covered a ton on this topic already. If you haven't seen my latest episode on this subject, I did one on HBO Max. Check it out, it's pretty cool. And with many moviegoers stuck at home, it's great to actually have the experience of having these projects come to you. Now, this market in streaming services has no doubt increased since. Now, a lot of these streaming services have been asked to switch from a high standard definition to help with bandwidth. A lot of 4K shows being streamed, a lot of 4K movies being streamed, so yeah, people got to get their dose of Baby Yoda. Now, if this ban does get extended, a lot of viewers that subscribe to these multiple streaming services are going to start to demand for new content. There's only so much you can watch, right? Or rewatch, that is. With all the streaming services that are out right now, the market is starting to get really cramped. It's only a matter of time before another brand new streaming service comes into the picture. Now, if that does happen, a lot of us that feel that crampedness, that like, I need new content, they're going to bounce over to that new streaming service because, hey, there's the new content that I was waiting for. Yeah, let's do it. Let's pony up the dough. Now, obviously, this is something that all these streaming services need to plan when talking about what they're going to do for the next phase in their business plan, which I covered this before, and Netflix is doing it right. They are slowly going to work in Nickelodeon shows. And if you don't know about that, I did an episode solely off Nickelodeon and Netflix teaming up. Check that video out, it's very cool. But streaming services, the market is up. It will continue to rise. Will it still stay up there once COVID-19 is done? I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. Number 3, movie theaters. And like I mentioned before, a lot of movie theaters are completely closed. So, once they reopen, it's hard to picture, yourself going out for dinner and a movie again, right? But when the ban is lifted, a lot of studios are gonna pump out a ton of content, a ton of projects to these theaters, so that 2 things. The theaters themselves can profit off of us consumers, and the movie company can also earn money from the projects that they made to recap the money that they spent on these movies. It's all about the dough. But the thing that's very interesting about that is a lot of movie studios are going to start to compete for these releases now. A lot of movies do get pushed back because of certain movies that are coming out. They don't want to compete. It's like if Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants came out at the same time as Avengers Endgame. That's a horrible release date. No one's going to see Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants unless the pants were on Thanos. But once this does happen, the ban is lifted, I guarantee it. Look out for a slew of marketing campaigns for a ton of movies, because those marketers are going to be very busy. But some filmmakers are actually saying that this pause in production is a good thing. Thor Ragnarok's director, Taika Waititi, I love him. He says he's spending the time perfecting the script for Thor Love and Thunder. He also said that a lot of writers and producers and directors, they always complain that there's not enough time to perfect their script. Well, this is a perfect time to perfect your script because there's nothing else to do but work on that script. And many studios are already planning the worldwide releases of their projects. Warner Brothers and NBC Universal have already announced what they're going to do. But the question does still remain. Once the ban lifts, we're going to get a slew of content. We're going to get all these marketing campaigns, but are we going to feel safe enough to go back out to watch these films? That is the big question. But until then, we have our streaming services, we have our purchased movies, we even have VHS tapes for those who still like VHS. And we're just going to have to wait until the day where we can go up to the counter and say, 2 for Men in Black, please. But that's it, guys. The entertainment industry kind of has an idea what they're going to do. It's just a matter of seeing what's going to happen down the road. But thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I tell everyone, my viewers are fantastic. They're better than your viewers. But until next time, guys, if you have seen everything that you possibly can on your streaming services, you can always rewatch Goonies, because Goonies never die. Seriously, I can watch that movie over and over again. The Truffle Shuffle.